America's wrapping its arms around Trump in a way we've never seen before.
Our CBS poll finds that a majority of Americans, 53%, approve of the job he's doing. That's a better approval number than he ever reached during his first term in the White House.
He is doing, in the eyes of the public, what he said he would do in the campaign. There's political value in that. In fact, 70% of people say he's doing what he promised. As people take a look in these first few weeks, there's been a lot of activity. They're getting that general sense of governance, and that's being reflected in these early numbers.
CNN's jaw hit the floor.
Holy smokes. I mean, look at what the difference is between now versus 8 years ago during the first Trump term. All of these respective pollsters have Trump in a better position now than they did 8 years ago. The bottom line is Americans are far more likely to say they like what they're seeing now versus what they felt during Trump's first term. A positive net approval rating for Donald Trump. Again, whoa, 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 whoa. Entire first term, just 11 days, Donald Trump had a net positive approval rating. Compare that to the second term just so far. Every single day of Trump's second term so far, he has been on the positive side of the ledger.
1 in 5 Democrats say Trump's doing a good job. Even Democrats hate paper straws.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay. And I don't think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean.
Real men should never use straws, so it doesn't affect prime time. And Trump says Hamas has a deadline. Listen.
If all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out.
You say all hell is going to break loose. Are you speaking about retaliation from
You'll
Israel?
find out,
Okay.
and they'll find out too. Hamas will find out what I mean.
Voters know what the press doesn't. Trump isn't radical. He's just radically changing our country back to normal. No guys and girls sports, cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, deporting migrants, and securing the border. All common sense moves. But saboteurs inside the federal government are leaking ICE raid calendars. Pam Bondi says if you get in the way, you're going down.
If anyone leaks anything, people don't understand that jeopardizes the lives of our great men and women in law enforcement. And if you leaked it, we will find out who you are and we will come after you. While Bondi smokes out moles, the president's pinching pennies. For far too long, the United States has minted pennies, which literally cost us more than 2 cents. This is so wasteful. I have instructed my Secretary of the U.S. Treasury to stop producing new pennies. Let's rip the waste out of our great nation's budget, even if it's a penny at a time. Wishing wells and fountains hardest hit. Trump has options that other presidents never considered. The federal government has thousands of properties in our real estate portfolio that aren't being used, and millions of acres of federal land. Trump could sell this property off for trillions and trim down the debt. But first, we need to stop the bleeding.
Well, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of money that's going to places where it shouldn't be going, where if I read a list, you'd say this is ridiculous, and you've read the same lists, and there are many that you haven't even seen. It's crazy. It's a big scam. Now, there's some good money, and we can do that through any one of a number. I think I'd rather give it to Marco Rubio over at the State Department. Let him take care of the few good ones. So I don't know if it's kickbacks or what's going on, but the people, look, I ran on this, and the people want me to find it. And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Trump deputized Elon to hunt down pork fraud and corruption in every dark nook and cranny of the federal government.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it. But I told him do that. Then I'm going to tell him very soon, like maybe in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the military. Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. But I campaigned on this, Brett.
It's easy finding fraud. You just close your wallet and see who cries the loudest.
How U.S. aid got to the top of the DOGE list, I think, is one of the most interesting aspects of this story. So if you remember, on January 21st, Trump decided he would do a bunch of executive orders, right? And one of them was to pause foreign aid for 90 days. Okay, a couple of days later, the White House said, hey, this U.S. aid leadership is trying to circumvent the executive order. In other words, they're just going to keep paying people even though the executive order came out. That alerted the DOGE team.
FEMA spent $59 million in New York to feed and house Biden migrants. Remember how illegals were staying here at swanky hotels and throwing out the free food? Probably would have been better spent on hurricane or wildfire victims. Instead, Biden funneled the money to Midtown hotel owners. Those hotels booked up full for a whole year. Then no one could get a hotel room in the whole city, and other hotels jacked their prices up. And the government wasted $100 grand studying snapping. Ready? Scientists concluded this, quote, varying degrees of friction between the fingers alters the elastic performance of a snap. Thank you. DOGE is ending a $2 million military program that forced soldiers to talk to cartoons. Not just any cartoons, DEI cartoons. And Primetime's working to get that video for you. It's over. Common sense is shining down on America, and Democrats can't take the heat. Not too long ago, they thought shrinking the government was a great idea.
With changes in technology, the ability to evolve to government as a service, as a libertarian, I think we can reduce employment in government by at least a third, reduce the overhead and administration by that much or more, so that we can offer more to services for our citizens.
But now that Trump's making cuts, Democrats are defending waste, fraud, and abuse. The deeper they dig, the worse they look. DOGE pulled back the curtain, and now there's no going back. While most of the country makes an honest living, pays a lot of taxes, government vampires are bleeding us dry, making six figures from corrupt government subsidies to fluff up their resumes. The jig's up, and the country's rejoicing.